Welcome to the Everything Culture Podcast. It's your host, G-Jack, along with my co-host,
Mr. D713.
Today we got a special guest in the building, Mr. D713. Why don't you introduce our guest?
Man, we got my boy, longtime friend, homie, all the way back from, 2002, 2001, high school, Robert Lee, John Tyler, Kings of Crunk. We go on and on with the names and the AKAs that we do, but we want to welcome our friend Regal Ben Yahuda, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, to the show. Can we give him a hand? All right.
Regal, what's been up, man? How's your week?
Man, what's going on, fellas, man? Appreciate y'all having me on, man. All praises to the Most High, man. Everything going good on my end. Just working hard, man.
That's all we can do, man. Every day, stay alive.
Yeah,
Keep working, stay active.
Busy week this week, man.
What about you, Mr. D713? How's your day?
Blessed, man. Can't complain when I'm not. Look, I would say I'm a little fatigued, but we go continue to push through. Just lay it in, just in time to make it in, man. But once again, busy day. Productive, I would say very productive. Been reading a lot what's going on in the news. Tomorrow I try to make it my social media break where I try to cut everything off. But in between doing what we doing here with Everything Culture, we get tied into it. But overall, man, it's good. What about you, bro?
Man, same thing, man. Just long day. It was productive, but man, it's been like raining off and on down here. Like thunderstorming, and then it's sunny outside. It's hot as shit. Like I don't know, they playing with the settings or some shit. I don't know what's going on, but it
sounds
just been
like the ghetto. Sounds very ghetto.
Texas, man. Texas.
Yeah, it's been crazy, man. So people mood change, man. When it's like raining, then it's hot as hell. So luckily, most of the time I'm working by myself, so I ain't got to deal with too much shit. But other than that, man, it was pretty good.
Drizzled a little bit up here. Drizzled a little bit. It was like a nice little 70 degrees down here. Well, up here, get out. Once again, I say my flex is now talking about the weather. That's the thing about it. Like, you can't beat the weather up here. You really can't.
Yeah. Well, you can beat the shit out of it in Texas, man. But today on today's episode, man, we got some real good topics. I want to dive into the first topic, though. Regal, I know you're real big into protecting yourself and this whole Black Militia movement. Am I saying it right?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, the Black Militia movement. I know, like me, like a lot of people out there, and I don't know about Mr. D713, but can you kind of explain to us exactly what's going on, like what the Black Militia movement is?
The Black Militia movement, well, it's basically a movement to where going all the way, it kind of died down after the Panthers was dismantled or whatever, but it's just, they call it Black Militant Movement. We didn't come up, with that vernacular. That's what the government labeled it, Black Militants or whatever. It's just basically militias, Black militias that believe in protecting our community, protecting our family, defending ourselves against any form of white supremacy, whether it be foreign or domestic.
Okay. So, go ahead.
Do y'all have a particular one? I know one that I've been hearing about quite a bit recently is the one, was it Not Fucking Around? Ain't Fucking Around?
The Not Fucking Around Coalition. I am a member of the Not Fucking Around Coalition.
Yeah, I heard of that one. I'm seeing good work is being done, and I'm glad you said it came from the Black Panther movement. But
right.
It's just something I think is necessary. It's not a problem to have because you once again, other militias in America, which is no issues, no problem having. So why is it an issue for Black people to have one?
Well, it's an issue because I think it was J. Edgar Hoover himself. He said out his own mouth, and y'all can feel free to fact check this, that his greatest fear was Black unity. J. Edgar Hoover, the former FBI director, said his number one fear was Black unity. So that's what they fear most is Black unity.
So do you think like with the protests and stuff like that of George Floyd and everything that's going on right now, like is do you think that's why everything is like starting to grow and be more popularized and like on the news and stuff like that as far as the movement?
Uh, absolutely. I think the situation with George Floyd, I think it was kind of the perfect storm
Yeah.
because I mean, quiet is kept. People been working quietly in the background for years. I mean, I've been talking about starting a militia here in East Texas for years, but it just comes down to being around like-minded individuals or whatever. And so in East Texas, before now, it wasn't too many like-minded individuals, but more and more people that's getting on the same wave as far as becoming more conscious of protecting yourself, your family, community, with the whole corona situation going on, all these uncertainties that's going on. More and more people are arming themselves, and um, so-called white supremacy is, you know, with the election of Trump, has been placed in the forefront, and they getting a lot more bold, going all the way back to the KKK days when they was out in your face. So a
Mm-hmm.
lot of more people are becoming, more aware of what's actually going on. And so with the George Floyd situation, it was just kind of like the perfect storm of people being fed up and
Mm.
people wanting to unite and be a part of something that's bigger than themselves. So they kind of with the situation with George Floyd, they kind of made it happen. They kind of brought it together. So
Yeah.
you can only oppress a people for so long before they begin to rise up.
Yeah. But even before this though, the whole movement has been going on. How long would you say it's been like back really like moving and active? Since before the movement, and I guess between the Black Panther movement and what's going on now, like the I guess Black Militia movement now, like how long you say they've been really active in the last few years?
Like I said, after the Panthers got dismantled or whatever, it died down a lot. But people were still training and getting together. Ever since then, it just
Mm-hmm.
wasn't as big and prevalent and as it is right now. I won't say it wasn't necessary because it's always been necessary,
Yeah.
but it just hasn't been as big, and we all know how mainstream media is. They really not quick with NFAC. They really didn't have no choice but to push it in the mainstream media because it caught them off guard. So they
Mm-hmm.
really didn't have no choice but to put it in the mainstream media. But that's the last thing because for years they've been depicting us, as criminals and thugs and all
Mm-hmm.
that in the mainstream media. So the last thing they want to show is a righteous depiction of us being united as one on one accord, loving on each other and supporting one another and demanding justice for all the wrongdoings that's happening to us.
Mm.
And I'm glad you're able to express that right there because, and coming on here on the platform to say that because as you see on the mainstream media, they're going to express what they want other people to see, not the actual truth. And
Absolutely.
thankfully, we have social media. Hopefully, we can continue this in the conversation in the future with some more like mind, or not have to, it don't even have to be like mind. I would say people that works in the media and understanding the power of social media. We don't have to go to the news anymore for that. We don't have to get KLTV and all these other places. You can actually go to Twitter and learn what's going on within the community other than before things are misread or misconstrued. So, and seeing what's going on in Louisville right now, I highly believe that Regal, I don't know, G-Jack, you heard, I don't want it to be dismissive and I don't want to assume as well, but y'all heard about the woman in Louisville, correct? That,
Yeah, Breonna Taylor, we headed to Louisville this weekend.
Mm.
and it's another woman in another, well, everybody should know about Breonna Taylor and the murderers, which people will call police officers, which is still free and more people have been arrested for trying to get these other men arrested, which
Mm-hmm.
is America, what we have right now, and why we continue to fight back and how we fight and what we're doing. But it's a one, I'm gonna look it up in a moment, but I'm trying to get her exact name. But her neighbors have been they've been pointing guns from their yard, threatening her. She's been scared to go outside, and a Black Militia group has went out in front. The police wouldn't come out and help her for anything.
Is that the lady where the Crips came and helped her or whatever?
Yeah.
Okay,
It's been many, but it's not only the Crips. It's been different Black men come in and protect this woman, and that's why things are necessary. And it's not to a point that we want to do this. Yeah. It's needed. It's absolutely necessary. So, and that's the same thing with the Black Panthers. It's something that we didn't want. Everybody want to have fun and live their life and be peaceful and other things they want to do, but we can't do that. We have a responsibility to our own. So that's my belief why the militias or this unit of individuals come together to protect our own until the police start doing what their job is supposed to say, not how it started, I would say.
That's what I was just going to ask. Okay. Do y'all believe that this will be better than actually having a police force? Like just, police in our own neighborhoods instead of having like an actual, law, I guess, what do you call it? Like a public, law system that's kind of protecting our neighborhoods. Would it be better if we had like our own people, like the, like the Crips or any kind of other Black militant group or whatever?
Absolutely. That's essential because, I mean, the police originally weren't created to catch runaway slaves. That's what that's where the police originated from. So they have never since their creation had our people's best interest at heart. So, and then number one, how can a person police you properly when they can't identify with you? They don't know your background. They don't come from the community that you come from, and they don't understand you mentally, emotionally, spiritually. They don't understand you. So how can they begin to police you when they don't know anything about you other than what's told about you or what the media portrays about you? So us policing ourselves is absolutely a necessity.
So I saw a post on Facebook, I guess in Tyler or Chabot area, they're trying to start like a white Confederacy like movement or whatever, like another, like their own like little militant group or whatever to combat all these statutes and stuff coming down and all the laws and stuff changing with, I guess they claim erasing history. How do y'all feel about that? I mean, of course, I know we all feel like that's all bullshit and they dumb, but how do y'all what do y'all say to that?
What part say to them trying to
start their own group, like almost like another KKK?
Yeah. Oh, okay. Feel like that's the KKK. I feel like that's a hate group. And what Regal's talking about, and I'm going right back to that, but I want to clarify, is the ain't fucking around unit group gathering of individuals, is that a hate group?
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
It's a love of our people group.
I think it's just that simple. I think the group that has been managed, the KKK, has been built upon hate. These units or these, what do y'all like to classify yourselves? It may be.
We're militia.
Well, okay, well, militia. It's not based off hate. It's based off love and protection. Simple as that. Period. So with what they're trying to do, which I would never understand, I'm still, anybody hearing my voice right now can really tell me why you support the Confederacy and why you support the flag. Holla at us, because everything I look up and everything I research is about hate. It's about slavery. Why we have that flag. That's a terroristic flag right there, in my opinion. That terrorism right here on this, you fought against the United States of America. Your granddaddy did. Great granddaddy.
See, that's how that just speaks hypocrisy.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
That's literal hypocrisy, right? Because when they see, a brother like Colin Kaepernick, when he'll kneel, you know, for the anthem, you know, protesting police brutality, they'll have a problem. These same people that are so patriotic, they'll have a problem with a black man kneeling for the flag during the national anthem, but won't say anything to their white brethren that fly Confederate flags.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And be
Last
clear.
time I checked, this was supposed to be the United States, and the last time I checked, the South lost. The Confederates lost last time I checked.
And that's the point. They fought against the United States. They no longer wanted to be united. The main thing, the argument they may try to bring with, they wanted to maintain state laws. Every state, and that's why Texas, you know, the great state of Texas, you know, they really was self-sufficient. They didn't need a government for that. So they're like, you know what, we don't want to be a part of that, because don't let anyone tell you different. Every state was like, our main focus is to maintain slavery, the slavery and specific slavery of the Negro, of the African, and all the descendants as well. That's what's written. So I don't know what the fuck they argue about. I'm trying to stop cursing, but that's my point. It's just to the point. And they say, well, you don't know the history. I do know my history. Well, do you know your history? That's the thing. Like, and especially in Tyler, you know, when I took the time out and looked up the research, the whole thing about Robert E. Lee, how in the world is this still going? And it's nothing new. They've been fighting to change that name since that name was given. Like in the 1970s, they were fighting that name. In the 1950s, they were fighting that name. So it's just like people just like, this has been pulled out of the blue. No, this has been going on. But what they're doing right now, G-Jack, nip that in the bud.
I hate the people who be like, well, first you change the name, then what's next? The city? Maybe.
Perhaps. Yeah.
If it's on the docket, yeah.
Y'all want to bring up the city next? Oh, no. And it's like they're going to have an aneurysm. It's like, and I know we've talked about it before, but how do you, I know we talk about George Floyd. I wish these groups they were active, but not as active, I would say, and people are not aware. And we make sure you're going to get this information from you in a moment, how people can look out to join or be more part or support. But I say Ahmaud Arbery is the one that still tear me up. Seeing like the man get lynched, the video come out, and the video is nothing new. The police knew about the video. And it still took them 3-4 months for the arrest
and a pandemic for them to arrest them because people had time.
But that show you right there, those men, they were making their little militia. They wanted to come together, that father and son group, and they felt that a black man was committing the crime. It was all, and it was just because he's being black and he's jogging. That's all it took.
Yeah. So I'm sure they fucked with him previous times before that. And
long before it's videos the police bothering, harassing Ahmaud Arbery before that. It is. But when it comes down to the militias we have, like, ain't fucking around, are you trying to chase down white people?
That's a question for me.
Yeah, I mean, I was like, y'all not trying to chase down white people that's jogging, leaving houses, are y'all?
Nah, man, that's not what we do.
Yeah, it's like, it's a big difference. Like, one thing is for protection. I'm just trying to key in on a point, but anyone that have a thought about this, what they're trying to do.
Yeah, we focused on our people. We don't focus on so-called white people unless they try to focus on us.
Got it.
In other words, don't start no shit, won't be no shit. Now, I know it's a black group, but can
Little John?
Yeah, call him Little John. Can like white people join, or can they donate money to the cause if they want to help out?
Like Brother Malcolm said, no, you cannot join, but you can help. You can donate, but no, you cannot join. This is a black-only militia, and that's how we plan on keeping it.
Okay. What about? Oh, never mind. Let's say, what about Hispanics? Is that like count as
Well, people of color.
is it like people of color or just
Black
African American?
only. If your daddy is not black, you can't join.
Okay.
What if your mother's black?
Your daddy is black. Your daddy is not black. You cannot join
Hmm. Why is it specifically the dad though?
because it's different ideologies on it. Some say you are what your father is,
Hmm.
and according to the so-called white man with the one drop rule, uh, if you got one drop of black in you, they base it off your mother and your father. But according to the scriptures, when you read the book of Numbers, the army was created based off the house of your father.
Hmm.
So that's where that comes from. You are
Okay.
what your father is. That was
Okay.
that was for wartime when the army was being assembled. So we follow that guideline.
So who would you say you look up to as far as like black leaders right now that are out there and leading? Like I know a lot of people say, as I quote barbershop, man, fuck Jesse Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of people say that, or they don't really trust Al Sharpton. Like, who would you consider like a black leader right now?
Man, for me, salute to the General Grandmaster Jay, him, and anybody that's on the front line, anybody that's speaking out against, injustice, inequality, anybody that's using their voice, using their platform, that's willing to put it all on the line and be unapologetic about it.
Mm.
Anybody that's willing to risk their life or their freedom for their people, that's who I look up to.
And if I can ask a question, do you think black people need a quote unquote leader?
I think everything has to be, done decent and in order. I think that's one of the problems in our community is we don't, you know, we have a hard time following leadership. Number one, we have a hard time following leadership, and we have a hard time. I ain't gonna say we, but individuals have a hard time not selling out,
Mm.
not selling out their
Mm.
people.
Gotcha.
So I don't think leader. I think it's beneficial, but I don't think leadership is the end all be all. I think we have a bigger problem that a normal human, a normal human leadership can solve. I think we far beyond that. But I think righteous leadership is necessary.
Hmm.
And when I have well, GJ, how do you feel? Do you think we need a leader? Like,
Yeah. I kind of feel the same way. Regal feel like you need a leader in everything. Like what, and it's not saying that people are weak because they aren't the leader. It's just some people have better skills. Some people have whatever you're trying to the goal you're trying to accomplish. You need to go as a person with the best skills. And who can handle the situation the best. That don't mean that you're weak for being a follower, but you need some type of order though to accomplish a goal.
And can I expound on that real quick?
Go ahead.
absolutely.
And let me say what I mean when I say our problems are bigger than just a righteous leader in human form. And this is what I mean by that. Y'all know me personally, so y'all know. But for the viewers that don't know, I do identify myself with my culture of my ancestors as a so-called Hebrew Israelite. That
We go
is what
get
I.
we go get into that on in the makings of you. But go ahead.
All right, yeah. So that's what I do identify as, and so I, you know, and in our culture, just like in the scriptures, we have people today, just like when you read the Bible, the man that they call Jesus in Christianity, he was, killed and persecuted by his own people. It was his own people that gave him up to the Romans to be
Mm.
crucified. So just like then in the scriptures, Just like today, we have Hebrews that don't believe in a Messiah that they call Jesus, or we call him by his Hebraic name, Yahusha, which means Yah's salvation. It's people today in our culture that don't, believe in him as well. So I say that we better hope that he exists. We better hope that he's real, because even before now, if you look at all the movements, Brother Malcolm, he wasn't able, as great as he wasn't able to liberate us as a people. Brother Marcus Messiah Garvey, as great as he wasn't able to liberate us as a people. Brother Elijah Muhammad, as great as he was to the Nation of Islam, he wasn't able to liberate us. Minister Farrakhan, he hasn't been able to liberate us. So forth and so forth. The Black Panthers, as beautiful and as everything that they accomplished, they weren't able to liberate us as a people. So our liberation for all of this time has not come to fruition. And so at some point in time, you got to begin to ask yourself, why haven't we been? I mean, of course, individually, we may be successful individually, but me, I'm all about community. So if my community is not successful as a whole, I don't view us as being successful as a collective. So with me, it's all about the collective, and we haven't been able to liberate ourselves as a collective. Everybody always talking about we need to come together, but why have we not been able in all of these decades to come together and liberate ourselves as a people? You have to ask yourself that question.
Do you think it's because of like maybe lack of planning? Like everybody wants the same goal, but we really don't have a plan to get there.
Well, I believe in the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my belief system. That's what I base my foundation on, which is the Bible. And according to the Bible, we are under the curses. So what people call white supremacy, I only say white supremacy because that's what the mainstream audience identify as. I don't believe in white supremacy. I understand that it's white rulership, it's European rulership. Just like in ancient times, the so-called black man was the ruler of the earth. It's the white man time to rule the earth. The scriptures say the hands are given it. This earth is given into the hands of the wicked. So once their kingdom falls, our kingdom will rise again. So that's my belief system. And
do you think they believe in the same thing? That's why they're fighting so hard to keep us so.
Honestly, I do.
No.
Honestly, I do. The elite, the upper echelon white people, they know what it is. They know the truth. That's why they fight so hard, to maintain their power and authority. The Lord, and see, that's what it's about. It's about, see, the lower class white man, he thinks it's about black versus white. You know what I'm saying? They think it's black versus white, but it's not black versus white. It's classism. You know what I'm saying?
But elitism.
They're quote unquote elitists or whatever, and so they understand that. So absolutely, I know that the white man believes the white man that's in power. He believes in the Bible more than the average black man does. That's a fact. Black people, they say, oh, the Bible is a white man book. The astute, the so-called astute white man, he know that his ancestors didn't have anything to do with the Bible. All he did was use it to his benefit. That's all he did.
What movie do I always tell you to watch, G-Jack, when it comes down to the Bible?
I don't know.
We're gonna use that as a question for our next giveaway, a gift away. But
now what's the answer?
The Book of Eli. The Book of Eli.
Oh yeah. I think that's like all three of our like top 3 favorite movies.
The Book of Eli is right there in your face.
Yeah.
It's right step by step, and like what's leading him the whole way?
Yeah, the Bible.
The Spirit. The spirit.
It was the blind faith.
The spirit, absolutely.
As simple as
And
that.
see, let's touch on. All right, look how that just came full circle, right? With Drake mentioning the book of Eli, right?
Mm-hmm.
What was the white man? The white man who was the antagonist in the movie. What was he doing? He was trying to manipulate the Bible. He was trying to find the Bible the whole movie.
He knew his power.
So he can use it for power. You know what I'm saying? So he can use it for power. And what was the so-called black man, Eli, the true Hebrew, the descendant of the people who wrote the Bible, what was he doing? He was trying to protect it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So they know, they tell us.
Hold on, it get deeper. And it gets deeper. It gets deeper. Because did Eli, was anybody lead? What was leading Eli?
The spirit. Faith.
Yeah, the spirit.
What Eli leading anybody else purposely?
Not purposefully.
He didn't want to.
Mm-mm.
Right.
The antagonist, was he considered a leader?
To his community,
To the community of ragtag motherfuckers he had in that town. Okay, so but that's deep though, because pay attention. He wanted that leader. He wanted that crew. He wanted the people, and they would have followed a man. He even told the people who he was leading. The people was the woman. What's her name? I can't even think of her name right now. Solara, you know the real name. I just know it from that 70s show, whatever name. But but he was like, don't follow me. You can follow what's leading me, but I'm not a leader. And that was his main purpose. And that's what, I'll ask questions. Y'all believe? I don't think black people need a leader, but we do need leadership. Because anytime, and I've looked up the quotes on J. Edgar Hoover, and he talking about Black Messiah would never happen unless we create one in the American government. And he didn't say about the black man, about what was the quote that was said, his biggest fear was being unity. It was Negro unity.
Yeah, Negro. That's what he said, Negro unity.
Negro unity. But
he's sensitive.
But when we get into these details, because anytime we have a specific leader, they're going to try to tear him or her down. Absolutely. They're going to try to point their faults. And unfortunately, we have a community still that it's been they use slaves, the strong slaves, the niggas, as examples. We're going to beat, we're going to tar, we're going to feather, we're going to tear them down in front of you. So you can't believe in your own people. But when you all stick together, when you all come together, and we have leadership, we all don't have to speak at once, but we all move together, and everybody can, like what GJ was tending on himself. You can be an accountant, you can be a fighter, you can be a doctor, you can be a scientist, you can be a therapist, and you all can be excelled in your positions and your knowledge, and your leader, and you have leadership within that role, but everybody's a leadership, and you can't tear everyone down. Yeah. So I think right now what's making it strong, and that was to the Black Panther movement as well, you really couldn't pick one leader out of it. You could point, but when you have everybody, just a whole community, and you have everyone banding together, it's that we're more united. Well, unfortunately, I feel like we're ununited, but I feel like we're more united than ever right now, and we just have to continue going.
Do y'all feel like it's not actually the lack of a leader; it's just a lack of everybody playing their part?
That's what I believe. I believe we all responsible one way or another, and we all have to respect each other and love each other, and respect, communication, consistency. If we keep that with each other, we can't. How could you stop us? And my thing is not only for Black people, for anyone. But when we talk about specific, like the people who need treatment right now is Black people. And once again, we are struggling people, and it's not, we don't want to struggle. We want to be happy. We want to raise our children, our families, and we want to say hi to you. We want to live in the same neighborhoods, and if we don't want to live in the same neighborhoods, we don't have to. But at the end of the day,
I don't.
And once again, but that's the spectrum that we have.
You talking about with our own people or with other people?
It doesn't matter. Like if
Oh,
you,
okay.
because if that's what I said, if you want to stay in the all black neighborhood, that's fine. If you want to stay in the mixed neighborhood, that's fine. We're not just one. It's a spectrum. But at the end of the day, no matter where we're at, we need to be respected. We have the right to our freedoms. We have the right to liberty. We have the right to hold guns. We have the right to hug our children, love our mothers, whatever the case may be. So it's just one of these things that I'm looking at that how much further do we have to go? What else need to be done for it to be understanding? For, we ain't bothering y'all. We just out here trying to live.
Okay. So let me ask y'all this. I know like Killer Mike, he speak about like segregation and stuff like that, and how the black man or black people are better off being segregated. How do y'all feel about that? Like, do y'all feel like we need like a period to segregate and build ourselves up and come back as a unit and not have to depend on other cultures? Or do you think we can do that in this current climate, like the way things are set up?
Yeah, I agree 100%. Like I said, I practice my culture. So my culture say for us to be separate. They say for us to be separate, and they tell us not to have any dealings with other nations, not to intermingle with other nations. And it's a reason why we were instructed to do that. And it's a reason why, situations like Black Wall Street, when we were separate, it was one of the most affluent communities in the country. So they when you look at post Black Wall Street, right? They wanted to they were so against integration, right? That they had the Klan out there, they had their rebel flags out there when they was talking about desegregation or whatever. But when we were segregated and doing our own thing, y'all wouldn't leave us alone in. When we was the most affluent community in the country, in Black Wall Street in Tulsa, y'all wouldn't leave us alone in. So we can't be integrated. Y'all don't want us to be segregated. So what is it?
Yeah.
And so I'm all for pro-segregation.
I think it's more of a control thing. They just want to be able to control you.
That's all it is, man.
So that's great. When did I know I'm like blurry on the facts and stuff, man. So did they have welfare and stuff like that back then, or that was post segregation?
I believe
welfare
welfare
came in the 80s.
Yeah, I believe welfare came with the whole housing, with the whole redlining and project housing came welfare and all that.
Okay. Because I was thinking, like, I guess once they, desegregated and then they introduced welfare.
Shut me the fuck up. Hold on. The welfare system in the United States began in the 1930s during the Great Depression. After the Great Society legislation of the 1960s, the first time a person who was not elderly or disabled could receive need-based aid from the federal government. And remember, welfare did not start with black people. Okay.
All right. So welfare came from the Great Depression, right? Okay.
So that's what I was thinking. Like, was it a ploy at the beginning though to like make you dependent, like make stuff so bad for you where you have to be dependent upon, the United States or the so-called white man to survive, which caused like our current situation where we don't really own nothing, we don't have anything of value, no leverage to bring to the table.
See.
See how what you think, Mr. D713?
About what part?
Do you think that about the welfare situation? Like, was that designed really because they knew what the plan was? Like, it was like maybe a 20-year plan. I don't know. When did desegregation happen? Like in the 60s?
Desegregation happened in 1950s. 54?
What was it, 55, 57?
I know I think it was passed in 54, but it probably went into effect around then. For some reason it takes for a long time for it to happen. Actually, but
yeah, it's all about. Go ahead, man.
It's to that point where I believe I would say no. I would start off when it started for that, no. But the steps in the black community, how the process, the man could not be in the household for a family to receive welfare. it's so many intricacies that goes into it that I can see how, yes, absolutely, I can see that. But how, did it start like that? Because it didn't start for us in the first place. And we talk about the percentage of people receiving welfare, they ain't black. Okay. Now it's a disproportionate amount that receive it in because of percentage wise. But as a child that grew up on welfare, I'm thankful that we had it, you know.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it was like am I on welfare now? No. Do I pay hella taxes? Yes. Do I complain about it? No, because I've been in the social work field for, you know, previously for 9 years, almost 10. And I've seen people use it for the right reasons. And I've seen people abuse the fuck out of it as well, you know. And my thing is, we shouldn't let it keep us down. Use it as a leg up, you know. Right now, welfare could be a great thing with the current economy we have. This is the time for this shit to kick in. Stimulus packages and all that, if people use it for the right reason. And, you know, G-Jack, I talked to you about it. We, you know, future episode, whoever's listening, we're talking about financial well-being, financial welfare, financial literacy. You know, that's something we have to push on ourselves. And, you know, I don't even get into it because I know right now we're at a time you got kids in your household and people talking about sending their kids back to school. This is the best time to start teaching your kids right now. You shouldn't stop waiting for these teachers, you know, or, you know, to teach your kids things you should be teaching them. We have to educate ourselves for these things to educate them.
We should be doing that anyway, though.
That's
Like
what I'm
in
saying.
addition to the school, you know, like they shouldn't just start now because of the pandemic. Like,
I'm not no argument with that at all, man.
Yeah, but I see what you're saying, though.
But it goes back to that. It's like, which came first, the cart or the horse, you know?
Yeah.
Or the chicken and the egg.
Well, then it goes back to we still dependent though. Like we all need to have to go to work. I mean, work for somebody, or if you own your own business, it's some form of.
That's gonna happen anyway. That's gonna happen anyway. And like, that's in the Bible though. That's in the Bible. It was rich and poor people in the Bible. It was hardworking and lazy people in the Bible. It was all these things. That's why I keep saying you can't avoid it. But we need to follow what God say. When we had the conversation why I don't like Candace Owens so much is because she tried to become an elitist. Okay. Mm-hmm. She is like, black people are only race, which when we talk about race, I think don't get me started on that, but that help each other out, to help the people that's a criminal and commit crimes, which is a complete lie. But the focus, it says in the Bible, when you yielding your crop, okay, when your season come in to yield your crops, you know, pick your cotton, pick your corn, pick your wheat, whatever, you leave 20% out there. You don't take it all because you ain't gonna need it all. So you leave a bit for your neighbor. You don't have to give it to them, but you leave a little bit out there for them to go pick it themselves and they can have it. We don't have that in America. The thing about it, and almost to this world, we're here to take everything, sell it. You know what? It wasn't hard. I could sell it for 50 cents, but you know what? I'm about making this money. Time for disparity. I'm gonna sell it for $5. That's that process in their mind. And people say that's a socialist mindset. My thing is, it's not a capitalistic mindset. You know, as simple as that. It's just, I want everybody can eat. Everybody can really do well. And the world I've seen, it's no point people should be going hungry. There's no point people should be sick. No, it's way we can all live well, but that's the trick of the devil we have right there. You know, it's that feeling of being of God, making you feel like you're better than someone else.
But I'm saying as far as sending the kids back to school, though, like we gotta, yeah, that's what you asked. You said people was coming back, sending their kids back to school, and we were talking about like teaching your kids at home. Now would be the perfect time. And I was just saying that right now, you know, people have to go to work and stuff, so you can't. That's a great option in theory. It's a good idea in theory, but it's just not realistic in today's time because we're not self-sufficient like that. A lot of us aren't. Most working class isn't self-sufficient where you can just take off work like that or just stop doing everything to stay at home with your kids and teach them.
That's a fact.
So it's like
it was designed that way.
Yeah. And that's what I was saying though. Like it's kind of like you still dependent upon somebody like the man or whoever, you know, to take care of you because you need income to live, and you can't have income without working.
See, think about it, right? Think about with the whole Corona situation, right? Mm-hmm. And when they rolled out the $1,200 stimulus check, think about how many people that $1,200 stimulus check kept afloat, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Think about with the whole unemployment, then the $600 plus or whatever they was getting for the people that was on unemployment. Think about if the government didn't roll that out. Yeah. What type of situation we would be in, right? All this Corona situation has showed me is what I've been telling y'all for years, how we need to be self-sufficient, how dependent we are, not just as so-called Black people, but the middle class, lower class citizen, how dependent we are on the government. That's all that shows me, is how unself-sufficient we are.
Yeah. And it also goes back to like we need to be more like of a community. Like there should be a way like where we can all come together and like have somebody who does, be able to teach, and maybe we have a place where we can have like some a field or whatever. We can grow vegetables for the whole garden. There's actually a neighborhood here. It's right across from my sister's house. It's called what's the name of that dang neighborhood? But they have like a community garden there. And they actually have vegetables. You live there, pay your HOA dues. You got vegetables, like the whole garden is for anybody who live in the community. They even have a chef that come out and every Friday and teach you how to cook and stuff with the vegetables that are grown in the garden. So that would be a part of like, being self-sufficient and having community and stuff like that, and we wouldn't have to stress when a pandemic come.
Absolutely.
We've had this. I want to go back and find that old episode. I've said that before. And you're like, nah, that can't happen in the Black community because you can't. I know, because but we can't have that mindset. That's stopping you right there.
We can't. You're right. You're absolutely right. We can't have that mindset.
We have to go for it. Like when I was in Houston, I was saying this stuff like, we got all these professional Black people here. We are doing all these great things. We need a network. Nah, I can't trust. I'll go trust them. I ain't gonna trust. What? This is something that's need to be happening. And it's not right with the Black-owned business situation. I think I just retweeted or reposted that why you got to wait till one day to support a Black business. That's the most asinine thing I know. And that's what I'm saying. I know I've tried. I would go to Black businesses. I could try everyone business, but I've said it before. If it's a Black person selling the same thing someone else is selling, I'm gonna go Black. You know what? And I'm gonna give them. If they mess up, I'm probably give them another chance too. But it's to the point where, like, hey, I'm gonna tell you, service ain't hitting. This ain't good. I'm gonna take it over here. I can come back and check you out, but I'm always gonna give that opportunity and support like a motherfucker. I would tell other people about it as well. But it's that point that, will I just I just don't trust it, or I'm going to go bad mouth them? Nah. I told the story about the car wash place once. I ain't going to tell it again. But it's just one of them things. It's just one of them situations. Like, I appreciate his attempt at great customer service. That's what he had. He just didn't have good execution of it.
One thing I can say about that, though, do we have to baby them, though? Like, I mean, is it anything wrong with expressing your displeasure with people's service? Now, it ain't saying that you have to go blast them and try and make a big spectacle of it, but I don't see nothing wrong with saying, hey, man, like, this really wasn't the best service, or it really wasn't good. You may need to step that shit up. Like, I don't see nothing wrong with that. Like,
that's not babying
supporting somebody.
That's not babying. Now, we know in our community, it could be anybody's community. You got the Karens, you got, let me talk to your manager. Then you have some of the other ones, the sisters. Man, fuck this motherfucking place, man. This ain't shit. Like, it's a difference, like people, either way is not good. But if somebody make a mistake, G-Jack, people consider what you just said is babying them. You need to get in their ass. No, you
No,
don't.
but I'm saying that wasn't baby. I'm saying like some people would say you need to be passive and don't say shit just because they're a black business. Don't say anything and don't
No,
complain
I
about
never
it.
said that.
And
I never said that.
that's the point I wanted to be clear. Like, do you want
Nah,
to just pacify and give me an excuse because they are black business, or it's okay to say something? You know what I'm saying? If the shit fucked up, it's fucked up. But
we're a black business.
when you
We're a
cross the
black
line
business.
is when you go out trying to blast somebody. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But then I guess even at that though, because what if somebody is like a crook, like really stealing people money and like conning motherfuckers? At that point, you do need to blast their ass.
Now that's different because who are they stealing money from?
The black people that support them.
There you go.
So I guess it just depends, man. I guess it depends on the situation.
Now, you brought it. It's one thing about having a bad product and one thing scamming people. Those are two different things.
I just saw a whole thread yesterday. One of my Facebook friends had made a comment on somebody selling some wigs or something. Did y'all see that?
Nah, I didn't see that.
It was a girl. I guess her brother was selling some wigs and he had posted them. And they were like, man, that shit look like rat hair. That shit look like bullshit. And she was like, man, why y'all bashing another black business? Like, just don't say nothing. You know, if you don't like it, don't say nothing, but don't make a big deal and try and blast somebody on social media and shit.
Man, you know, everybody trying to get them likes, man.
Yeah, man.
It's hard to say. We've talked about it before. I'm gonna start calling it the what's up, boy? Miguel complex. Miguel. Y'all know Miguel the singer. Yeah, man. I'll say this. I don't know if I might not have said it on here. Y'all remember about 6? It may have been 6, 7 years ago, maybe 8. When he was doing that, I think it was a BET concert, somebody concert, and he jumped off that stage. He tried to jump to one stage to the other stage.
Oh,
he ended up leg
dropping.
He leg dropped her. He pulled like off the top ropes, whole body on this girl's head. Okay. That hit Black Twitter. They roasted his ass for a solid 72 hours. I'm talking about consistent jokes, memes, you name it. I'm about to tear up just thinking about it. I mean, they was on his ass. And he deserved it, needed that. Because unfortunately, and he got on, he said the worst culture, the worst community to support are black people. They just try to tear you apart. I said, black people will uplift the shit out of you. And if you fucking up, they will drop your ass hard as shit too. And kick you when you down. Like, it's, if y'all, do y'all disagree with me when I make that comment? We all from the same place.
Man, I agree.
Yeah, I would say because I can relate, and I'm not really friends with a lot of white people though. But I have seen them drag some fucking white people too. It's up there.
I'm not. No. Once again, let me be clear.
Yeah,
it's anybody. Anybody can get it. And that's the part. The main people that are around, we all know instigators. We all know roasters. We know people that probably should be on the same level as DC Young Fly. How did DC Young Fly become famous in the first place? Roasting motherfuckers, okay?
Yeah. I mean, we are the kings and queens of roasting people.
How did D.L. Hughley become famous? Roasting the audience. His jokes are high, but him getting on people's ass in the audience, that's how he became big, you know? So that's what I'm saying. When it comes to you have bad customer service or you give a product that ain't gonna look bad, it's not just because it go fuck with your emotions. Man, black people, y'all don't have an auntie that done cuss y'all ass out before that you just like, you know, I don't even need a whooping no more. You know, I'm okay. I'm
damn. This like just hurt your feelings and your pride.
Yeah, maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm deflecting my trauma on because I'm like some black people getting your ass about something about so bad. It's like, man, you know, give up your whole dreams. You know, I don't even want to be a soccer player no more.
Yeah. Yeah, I ain't never had experienced nothing like that, man. It's only been like amongst my peers who try and like go for the juggler, man.
Hey. Who would that be, man?
I don't know, man.
Hey,
I think
they probably love you though. That's what black people used to say that we won't talk about you if we don't love you. Is that true? Is that just a toxic shit to say? Is that just that's something else to think about right there.
I think it's out of love though. Most
that's
people
what they say. Well, that's some fucked up love, man.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Well, yeah. So, hey. Been an interesting discussion today, man. You got anything else, Mr. D713?
Man, I enjoyed it. We go get into the next piece in a second, man. I'm just happy to have these brothers come together and have a conversation. Hope people can hear and they can learn from it, they can grow from it. That's the biggest thing we have. It's understanding one another.
You Regal, you got any social media shout outs? Anybody where people can follow you if they want to know more information about what's going on?
Yeah, man. My social media handle, Regal Ben Yahuda on Facebook, Instagram, Hard Body Battle X, all one word, all lowercase. I don't do Snapchat. I don't do Twitter either. You're interested in joining the NFAC, you can email info@blacknfac.com. That's info@blacknfac.com. Man, shout out to the General Grandmaster Jay. Salute to my whole NFAC family. I love y'all, man. I see y'all in Louisville this weekend. Shout out to my brothers, man. My boy G Jack, Drake, Dirty J, man. Much continued success on the podcast, Everything Culture.
Appreciate it.
Man, proud of y'all, man. Keep up the good work, man. Anything I can do to support y'all, just let me know. NFAC for life, man.
Already. Man, G-Jack, what you got for us?
Man, you can follow me on all the same places, man. Instagram, GJack, G_JAXX. And I might be changing my name soon. I don't know. But for right now, that's it.
I'm about to switch it up?
Maybe.
Okay.
Everything Culture. Mr. D713 got them those hashtags down.
Y'all know what it is. Okay, so you can find Everything Culture at just that on Facebook, Instagram, Tumblr. You can follow us or subscribe to us on YouTube at Everything Culture. You also can subscribe to our website at www.everythingculture.com. You can hit us up on Twitter at EveryTHGCulture. Me, I think it's Mr. D713 on Instagram, but you ain't got to worry about that. Y'all just follow Everything Culture, man. I love that the support group we have. We having our friends, our family, our people. Shout out to the KOK, man. If you know what it is, you know what it is. But with a T-Town KOK, let's say that. But once again, thank you, Regal, and God bless you. Thank you. We really appreciate you coming on and joining us on this episode. And as always, we like to quote the late, great Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. that he said that men hate each other because they fear each other. They fear each other because they don't know each other. And they don't know each other because of segregation. And because of segregation, we have miscommunication here on this show for us to communicate with one another so we can start loving one another. Thank you all. God bless.